Hey humans, thanks for stopping by Visually and Verbally, where we look at marketing from both design and content perspectives. Pictures and words, my friends, pictures and words. Today we're talking about a brand spanking new website that aims to be an Etsy for artists. To follow along, you can find this website at Ziibra.com or catch the video podcast at thinkmonsters.com.
By the way, that's spelled Ziibra.com. A little confusing there with the zebra. According to an Adweek post about the site, Ziibra wants to be the destination for painters, musicians, and designers to promote and sell their wares, as well as share their creative processes. The digital platform believes it can act as a digital portfolio of artist resumes for brands while connecting the two for campaigns, creating a source of revenue for the community. So let's talk about the content and design of this website. We'll flip a coin to see which side we'll start from, the visual or the verbal. Patrick, the coin flip, please.
I'm flipping. It's visually. From a visual side of things, the site is pretty clean. Nice use of white space, and they've broken up the areas on the main page and subpages so it doesn't feel jam-packed or cluttered. A lot of sites that function as a portfolio piece for creatives and artists tend to jam everything together, and sometimes that gets difficult and overwhelming for people, especially when there's a lot of visual elements on the page. The photography of the creative work is really strong on this site right now, which is one of the areas that can break a site like this. The potential for users to upload subpar photography is pretty great. So this may be a pitfall in the future for them as they get more artists to sell their work. But right now, they've done a good job of putting up great photography of the work and of the artists. The last thing I was going to talk about is the navigation is also really simple, which I think is a highly overlooked visual element of site design. Most of the time, people go with the tried and true about us, services, products, resources, contact us, log in, buy, whatever those are. So they make the navigation longer than it needs to be. Instead of cluttering the site with a million options in Ziibra, the visitor is given the option to sell on Ziibra or explore artists, which ultimately leads to purchasing their art. And I think that's one of the things that they've done really well is that they've looked at it and said, okay, what are the two things we want people to do? And the navigation becomes their call to action there.
Well, before I jump on the verbal, I'll just say, about the visual. I really like it too. You mentioned one thing, and simplicity. They don't put anything on there you don't need. There's not a lot of excess. They use that white space and just here's the essentials.
Yeah.
And that's the same exact thing they do with the content. There's just not a lot of core content here because they don't need it. Most of the content on the site is user generated, so they don't bother cluttering it up with empty words that you don't need. On the homepage, there's a simple 1, 2, 3 steps for using the site, and that's all they really think you need. The most content is on the About Us page, and that's only 4 simple paragraphs, pretty short. I'll read it for you right now. Based in Seattle, Washington, Ziibra was started with one goal in mind, to help keep creativity alive and well. Over the last year and a half, more than a few things have changed, but this small tenet has held true. As the internet becomes a new path to fuel the creative economy, our goal is this, to make it sustainable. We live to tell the stories of the people behind the craft, and are proud to build tools that help them tap into a community of folks who are not only passionate about their work, but want to support it on an ongoing basis, be it a few dollars a month or thousands a year. As our team continues to grow, we hope to make ourselves a resource for both up-and-coming veteran artists and a place for creatives to grow, learn, and reestablish the arts as a viable and publicly supported career path. And that's it. That's the most content you'll find on any page as far as core content goes, explaining the site. So what does this content do well? What does this About page content do well? Because the About page content you have on your site can be a key asset. 1, telling people what you do, and 2, for search engines to bring people to a site that is like yours that people are looking for. So what this does well, what I just read you, it's compact and to the point. Like the rest of the site, there's not a lot of empty words there. Let's just tell people exactly what we want to say and no more. The second thing is it has an aspirational quality to it. It creates that sense of mission, vision, and passion like you were talking about. It's something you look at and you're like, all right, this makes you feel good about what the site is doing and product and service they're providing. And then the third thing, it's people focused in a way that's appealing to both of the site's key audience, the artists and the people buying that stuff. You'll read this little description and you'll feel good about what the site is doing, and you'll feel good about being a part of it. It makes you want to be a part of it. So those are some pretty effective things, and they're all done, with these 4 short paragraphs on the About Us page.
One of the things you talked about early on in the verbally exploration that I liked is that, there's not a lot of content that's generated by the site. It's by the users, by the artists, right? And they didn't confuse that with that they needed to clutter it up with their own mission or their own content. And to me, that really helps clean up the site so that it's got a lot of white space and allows the art to be showcased.
Yeah, and that's a good, lesson for companies out there, the value of white space, and especially with content, I see it. I'm sure you see it with design too. There's always this we need more, we need to tell them everything we do. Every aspect needs to be thrown out there and put into words on the site. And that's not really the case. Get it down to the essentials. What do people need to know? And the more spare and simple you can make that, the better. So all in all, I think it's a pretty good site. And, we wish best of success to Ziibra.
That's this website, Visually and Verbally. We hope this gives you some ideas for your own website. If you'd like to suggest a website for us to talk about, email us at feedback@thinkmonsters.com. Stop back again for another dose of Visually and Verbally.
Yeah.